It is now 8:30. Good Tuesday morning. This is the WLBB Community Voice here on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3, streaming live online at newstalk1330.com. And I'm your host this morning, Colin Worthington. Qualifying for the March 16th special election for the District 4 seat on the Haralson County Board of Commissioners is ongoing. We're into the second week of that 3-week early voting period. It's at the Haralson County Courthouse. That special election is for District 4 residents only, and it is to determine who will fulfill the unexpired term of former Commissioner Brad Vines, who passed away in August of last year. Now, in yesterday's program, we introduced you to one of the candidates. His name is Ryan Farmer, but this morning, his second candidate, only two did qualify for this race. Jeremy Church is our guest this morning. Jeremy, good morning.
Morning, Colin. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Glad to have you on this morning. Glad to meet you. Before we introduce you and find out who you are, let's make sure you know the district, the territory that you're looking to work for. What are the boundaries for District 4?
Well, it runs up Stedman to the west, and it goes all the way to the Carroll County line, down past Buncombe Waco Road, over towards Waco, and then it kind of comes back up Dead Man's Curve, Old Ridgeway Road. And it jots and turns a lot going back up towards Stedman. It comes out on 120 and goes back towards Stedman.
And as much as I joke about making sure you know the territory, I think there's a lot of people that may not even know what district they're in, or even though there's a race going on.
And anybody that doesn't know, there's a map online on the commissioner's page as well.
Okay. The polling places that will be open right now. Early voting is going on at the courthouse in Buchanan, but on election day, which March the 16th, will be 3 or 4 polling places open.
At least I believe there's 3 on one on Stedman, and then one at behind the library in Tallapoosa, and then one at Antioch off of Shiloh Church and Old Highway 100.
So listeners who is used to voting at those places, one of those 3 places, this election is for you. So, hang in there, pay attention, and find out more about the candidates in this race. Jeremy Church, who are you and what do you do?
I'm from Haralson County. I was born and raised here. The only time I didn't live here was when I was in the military. After that, I moved back out here. I grew up in the Buncombe area, actually right down from Antioch on Old 100. Now I live in Tallapoosa with my wife and two children. She's a lifelong resident from Tallapoosa as well. I run a local construction company. We specialize in industrial construction, metal fabrication, stuff like that. Other than that, I'm just trying to help the county move in a more sustainable direction, so that we can quit taxing everybody else to support the county and hopefully bring in some good industry to alleviate the taxes that we have to pay.
Is that your motivation then for taking on this role, or did something happen? Anything happen in the last 3 years that perked your interest and said, "Hey, I'd like to do something about that," or something that may have frustrated you, or something you wanted to be a part of?
Well, I've lived in Haralson County my entire life, so I've seen the decline of a lot of the industry in the Tallapoosa area. Obviously, we got Honda that came in, but we've lost a lot of industry in the Tallapoosa area specifically. So, there's a lot of issues that are tied to the lack of jobs in Haralson County, which doesn't allow for more small businesses to open up. If you get some bigger businesses, then that allows for more smaller businesses to open up. It's got a domino effect. That gives more people jobs around here, which helps rise people out of poverty, which has an effect on the crime rate, drug use, and things like that. So around, it's good for the county.
How do you think a county commissioner plays a role in attracting outside business, new business, or in maintaining it?
Well, we have to be able to offer the proper infrastructure. Water is a big issue, and really we've got the space. We've got all of the land that we need. It's sitting vacant. We have old buildings that could be used. One in Tallapoosa was recently taken over by a company and being used now. But we've got to offer some type of incentives, and I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but we have. If we don't offer it, the next county over is going to offer it, and if we don't start bringing industry here now, we're just going to see more industry that we do not want coming here, looking at this area, and that's why we're in the situation we're at now with the landfill, because they know we don't have enough industry, we don't have enough money to do anything else. But that's something that we don't need in Haralson County. We need something that's going to provide better jobs and not have a huge impact on our environment and our lifestyle here.
That was a smooth segue into that portion of the conversation, because it is a big topic going on right now in Haralson County. Have you come across anybody? Have you talked to any people on the campaign trail that are supportive, or at least open to not pushing you to do whatever you can to make sure that doesn't happen?
No.
Not a single person?
Not at all. Not a single person.
What are your concerns with that, with the landfill?
Well, I live pretty close to where the proposed area is. There's one parcel of land that separates my land and the land that the main parcel that they purchased. And from my understanding, they purchased a lot more land recently. So I'm worried about the smell, the water supply. I'm on well water. I'm not on city water. Coming down the road, I believe every 7 minutes. If you look through Cedartown, I mean, they're going to be dropping trash. They're going to be dropping stuff all over the road. I mean, it's not something that's going to be isolated to just there. They're going to be running all through the county. And I've spent a lot of time out at that property growing up. I mean, it's beautiful property. We could do so much more with a lot of that property in terms of parks or trails of some type, or something other than a landfill, for sure. And then obviously the stuff over by closer to 100 and I-20 would be great for an industrial park because of its ease of access to major interstates and highways.
Now, the developer they haven't brought it before planning and zoning yet, haven't brought it before
Correct.
The commissioners. What, I know some candidates and some commissioners may be telling people, constituents that, hey, we're not going to let this happen. But how does a commissioner not let this happen? What's going to be the commission's role if they intend to stop this? What can they do?
Well, it's my understanding at first it has to go through the zoning process. Mm-hmm. And if it's approved there, it comes in front of the board of commissioners. All we can do is vote no. And hope that the state upholds our rights as a county and what we want and what we choose for the county, and doesn't allow it to go into a court case, or doesn't allow it to go past the first stages of a court case, because I'm sure once we vote no, it would wind up in court. And I just hope that the states can see that we have rights as a county to determine what we feel is best for our own county.
Yeah, and that's what I was looking for. You expect it to go to a court case if that's turned down.
Yeah, most definitely. This isn't the first time that they've tried to put a landfill in. This isn't going to be the last time they try.
Well, then your concerns with the landfill, are they as much with the landfill as they are with the developer? I mean, based on anything that you may have read or anything you know about their history?
No, mainly the landfill. I mean, I would love to have the industrial park that's being proposed without the landfill, but that's not the case.
Is there nothing they could offer to balance it out and say, hey, we're going to do this landfill, but maybe we'll help you out with this, and the amount of money they're going to give to municipalities or to the county, anything like that, to at least give you second thought? No. When do you think would have been the appropriate time to share this information? If you were commissioner, I think we found out maybe in summer last year is when this became a discussion, and I think it was just kind of the undercurrent, and it finally boiled over. We started hearing about it because normally you wouldn't hear about something until it's presented to planning and zoning. I mean, if you were a commissioner, you hear about a project this big, any project, whether it's this landfill, and you may have to judge your timing on depending on the project. But when would have been the right time to tell constituents, to tell the community about this?
Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately, their input would be vital for something like this, because it's obviously something that's going to, be very hot topic. It's not like we're trying to put in a 30,000 square foot manufacturing facility. This is a couple thousand acres of land that's being balled up and putting in as of right now, 300 and something acre landfill. Mm-hmm. So that's much more substantial than a manufacturing facility that wouldn't really be disputed.
Now,
in my opinion,
you may have heard about Carroll County had a quarry, plans for a quarry in
Correct.
Pittsburgh, and they were able to change some verbiage and change their zoning. It was just the timing of it. They're going to have to deal with it in court as well, but it was still a pretty crafty move to keep something from happening. Is there any possibility for that in Haralson County? Do you understand the verbiage as far as the zoning that's affected, or is it too late to change anything like that?
I'm really not sure, to be honest with you. It's something I'm really trying to dive into more, because I know some of the property that they have, I guess, purchased or have under contract on 100 is commercial land. I believe the land, Dr. King's old land, is agricultural. But I'm really not sure how we would be able to change that if somebody's applying for rezoning in that area from agricultural to commercial. It butts up to Golf Course Road, Highway 100, and I-20. So I don't know what footing we would have to say that it couldn't be rezoned. Mm-hmm. I think our biggest fight would be to say no to the certain type of business that we want there. As far as rezoning goes, we start going down a slippery slope saying we don't want to rezone land because you may put this there. It has to be rezoned first, and then the business proposed.
And maybe just keeping that in the back of your head, the landfill issue, but any other kind of say there's a property in Haralson County and somebody just wants to do something with their property. What are the standards? What would it take for you to decide you can't tell somebody what they can do without their property? Do you have a checklist?
No, it's not a checklist. It's pretty simple, as long as it doesn't directly affect another individual's property, including the air.
Jeremy Church is our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. He is one of two candidates seeking the District 4 seat on the Haralson County Board of Commissioners. Election day is March 16th. And early voting is going on this week and next week as well. We're going to take our first break and come back and continue our conversation with Jeremy. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy here on News Talk 1330, FM 106.3.
Travel, get-togethers, Sunday morning worship. COVID-19 has almost put a stop to our way of life. Vaccination is our best shot at getting back to normal. The COVID-19 vaccine is based on more than a decade of research. Trials show it's safe and can provide up to 95% protection when you've received both doses. Tanner is committed to making the vaccine as widely available as possible, giving you a shot at getting back to life. Until then, keep wearing your mask, washing your hands, and avoid gatherings. Learn more and get updates at tanner.org/vaccine.
At Oak Mountain Academy, our academic excellence shines through innovation and a personalized educational experience. Our pre-K 3 through 12th grade environment offers a family-oriented atmosphere. We are an independent school with faith-based values and an academy honor code. Our academic standards prepare our students for college and beyond. I'm Patrick Duran, headmaster, inviting you to visit us on the mountain or at oakmountain.us. Come see how our warriors are creating legacies.
Time right now is 8:45. Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice here on News Talk 1330, FM 106.3, streaming live online at newstalk1330.com. And I'm your host this morning, Colin Worthington. My guest is Jeremy Church. He's one of two candidates seeking the vacant District 4 seat to fill the unexpired term of Brad Vines, who passed away back in August of last year. Jeremy, what one part of county government would receive more attention if you were elected?
I would definitely be interested in, most interested in the Development Authority, and also with the Sheriff's Department, trying to help the county with major issues that, again, tie back to not having enough jobs in the county, enough good paying jobs in the county. Studies show that the lack of jobs also creates a rise in crime. So I think those go hand in hand, and that would be bringing good industry here, not growing too fast. But if you can bring good paying jobs back here, a lot of people in Haralson County are having to travel to go to work to other cities, Atlanta and stuff like that. If you bring those jobs back to Haralson County, you can bring those people back. Those people come back. They're eating at restaurants locally. They're not eating at a restaurant in Atlanta. They're not stopping on their way home to pick up something they need. They're going to go locally. So then we can sustain more businesses, more small businesses as well. And that really is what I'm looking for. Is I want to bring more manufacturing jobs to Haralson County, but I'm really looking to help small business owners. Being one myself, that's something that's very vital to the community and brings a lot of the local people up.
You'd mentioned working with the sheriff's office and the new sheriff in town. New administration been operating for about 2 months now, 2 full months.
Yep.
What do you think?
Doing a great job.
Yeah, I was going to say, what do you think about him so far?
Doing a great job. I've known Stacy a long time. He's a great man, man of his word, and I think he'll do good things. He'll give it everything he's got, and I've spoken with him several times, and he's got some great ideas, not only for preventing crime, but preventing some of the people in the jail that have already committed crimes from being a repeat offender. And he's got some ideas for that I think are great. We have. He touched on it at the last GOP convention about trying to get them skilled training for different types of the construction industry. I see it every day. There's a very big shortage of skilled labor. Mm-hmm. So
this election, it's 2 weeks from today, so I think I'm assuming the Board of Commissioners would like to swear in the victor in as soon as they possibly could, maybe the following meeting, but it'll be just in time to start working on the budget for the next year. What experience do you have with budgets?
Well, running a company, I'm in charge of a multi-million-dollar budget every year. I've done pretty well with handling that year over year. We've seen pretty good growth. And really, I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't like debt. I try to eliminate any debt first thing, and then move forward that way, so that you don't have that always hanging over your head. Some debt's always good, but I don't think as a county we need to continually stay in debt. So,
should any part of the county budget, be shielded from cuts? And if so, which one?
That's really not a decision for me to make at this moment. I don't really know. I would have to, once I was in there, it's something I would really have to look at.
Yeah, I just wonder if you had strong feelings. I mean, like the sheriff's department or Parks and Recs, things like that. That you just like, no, we can't cut any of that out. For security or for
we need to give both of those are actually really good points for us. Parks and Recs provides something for children and the seniors to do in this area, and there's a huge lack of things to do in this area. So that's definitely not something that we need to try to hinder in any way. Same with the Sheriff's Department. Their budget, they need the money to do what they need to do. I don't know that there was any waste in the previous administration, and Stacy's just begun his job, and I don't feel like he will be wasting any money. I think that he's going to be as frugal as possible. So that's definitely something we'd have to look at. I don't, if the sheriff's office needs the current budget that they have, then that's what we need to give them so that they can combat crime in an effective way.
Jeremy Church.
The car's 10 years old, averaged 10 years old, and breaking down, and that's not something that we need either.
Yeah, Jeremy Church is one of two candidates running for the District 4 seat on the Haralson County Board of Commissioners. It's time right now is 8:50. Let me ask you this question before we head out to our final break. Do you see any should employees, county employees, be mandated to receive the COVID vaccination?
Absolutely not.
And why not?
That's a personal choice for any individual to make. I'm not against vaccinations in any way, but vaccinations usually go under intensive studies for years prior to be given to the population. This one was kind of rushed through, and I don't feel like it would be right to make anybody receive that vaccination at this point, or any vaccination at any point. That's a personal choice. But, once more of these vaccines are coming out and more studies are done on them in a safer way, I think we'll see more people willing to get them. But right now, you've got a lot of people that are scared of that vaccination because it was so rushed. And I understand why it was rushed the way it was, but, it's definitely not something for me to tell somebody that they have to put in their body.
Time right now is 8:52. We're going to take our final break and come back and wrap up our conversation with Jeremy Church, one of two candidates seeking the vacant seat on the Haralson County Board of Commissioners representing District 4. Time right now is 8:52. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System, Oak Mountain Academy. News Talk 1330 FM 106.3.
Travel, get-togethers, Sunday morning worship. COVID-19 has almost put a stop to our way of life. Vaccination is our best shot at getting back to normal. The COVID-19 vaccine is based on more than a decade of research. Trials show it's safe and can provide up to 95% protection when you've received both doses. Tanner is committed to making the vaccine as widely available as possible, giving you a shot at getting back to life. Until then, keep wearing your mask, washing your hands, and avoid gatherings. Learn more and get updates at tanner.org/vaccine.
As a graduate of Oak Mountain Academy, I've found that my experience on the mountain prepared me beyond all expectations. As a junior at Auburn University, I approached my studies with great confidence thanks to what I learned at OMA. When I think back on my time on the mountain, I think of my teachers. Their genuine love and concern for me as a student was always evident, and now, as an adult, I still foster those relationships. I'm Carly Robinson, an Oak Mountain Academy alum. Visit oakmountain.us to see how you can offer your child an amazing opportunity to be a warrior.
(8:53). Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice here on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3. Also streaming live online at newstalk1330.com. And at the conclusion of this program this morning, we'll post this program to the website, newstalk1330.com. That'll be audio only. Then about 11 o'clock this morning, you'll be able to find it on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. Our guest is Jeremy Church. He's one of two candidates seeking the District 4 seat on the Haralson County Board of Commissioners. In the last couple of years, maybe 2-3 years, the Haralson County Board of Commissioners had discussed the possibility of returning to a sole chairman. Also talked about bringing in a county administrator who would basically handle operations that the chairman did. And I think the chairman would handle day-to-day operations. The administrator would take on other roles. And the discussion was, to change those, you're going to have to bring those out to the voters. But those questions have never been brought out to the voters. Is that something that you would let county voters decide on, or would you not see the need to put either one of those to a vote?
Yeah, that most definitely is up to the county voters, but it's definitely not something that I would support. I would urge all voters to not vote for that because you don't have the same checks and balances. You have one person making the decisions versus 5.
Mm-hmm. What's the best thing about Haralson County?
That's difficult. It's still small town. That's I lived all over the country. I've been all over the world with the military, and something about Haralson County. I guess it's because I'm from here, but the small town. It's I don't have to leave my doors locked. I grew up never having to lock my doors, so I've always liked that about Haralson County.
I meant to ask you this in the first segment, as you talked about the military. What gave you the decision? What made the decision for you to join the military?
I guess I've always liked serving, and it was something I wanted to do similar to this. It's helping serve the community on a smaller scale than what I was doing in the military. I just wanted to serve and help people. I went into the Coast Guard and aviation and search and rescue, and drug interdiction and migrant interdiction. So
you're landlocked in Haralson County.
Landlocked in Haralson County, so yeah.
How about your volunteering and donating and maybe your coaching efforts locally? What do you spend your time, your free time, when you're able to donate your time or your or make contributions? What kind of charities are you fond of locally?
I typically make a contribution to any charity or school system that asks. Any of the booster clubs and band, baseball. Any of the outfits in the county from the school systems that ask, I typically donate to. My campaign itself is 100% self-funded. I haven't taken any money from any individuals or organizations, so I'm proud of that as well.
As a small business owner, you're obviously very busy. How much time can you invest weekly in this position, or how much time would you expect that this job would take up?
As much as needed. I don't expect it to take up a huge amount of time. It's all about time management. Time management's the biggest thing in any aspect of any job, and it's I just have to manage my time, and I don't see it being an issue.
And communication's a big thing, too, with constituents. Would you plan any mailings or emails? How would you keep in touch? Would you have town forums or?
Town forums would probably be my preferred method, as to allow people to come out so they can ask any questions in person, and then they can be answered right then. There's no delay, and and if it's not answered right then, if I don't know the answer or have the answer, I will get them the answer.
Wrapping up our conversation here with Jeremy Church. Jeremy, do you have a website or Facebook page, or how can people get in touch with you?
I have a Facebook page, and it has my phone number listed on there.
Okay. So. Are you getting a lot of communication from people? Are they asking you questions?
I have. It's died down a little bit, but when it first started off, it was a lot of questions and a lot of misinformation as well. So.
Yeah, as always in these elections. Well, you got about a minute and a half. I bump into you on the street and say, "Hey, Jeremy, I hear you're running for that District 4 seat. Why should I vote for you?" What are you going to tell me?
Well, I'm a lifelong Haralson County resident, same as my wife. Both of our kids live in Haralson County, and I intend on raising them here. And I'm a local businessman. I'm not a politician in any way. I feel like I would be the best fit for the job because of my business experience, and I have a desire to help Haralson County move in a more sustainable way and grow responsibly to help the citizens of this county, and really try to lift everybody up together.
Jeremy Church, one of two candidates running for the vacant District 4 seat on the Haralson County Board of Commissioners. Jeremy, it's good to meet you, and thank you for talking to us this morning.
Thank you, Colin.
And we wish you luck.